What's up, guys? Cal coming at you from Austin, Texas. And last month I actually participated in a 10-day silent meditation retreat called Vipassana. And this basically entails no speaking, no eye contact, no gestures, no touching, no communication with any kind with anyone in the group. It also includes no reading, no writing, no listening to music, no exercising, basically no distractions of any kind. All you do for 10 days, 10 hours a day, is meditate. And if this seems kind of extreme, you would be correct. This was one of the most extreme, difficult, intense 10 days of my entire life. And so as a result, I probably got the most results and benefits I've ever gotten from any 10-day experience. It was insane as far as growing spiritually, kind of cleaning out past stuff, and also just getting way more awareness and presence in my life, just the absence of technology. It was just a huge benefit. So this video, I'm just gonna kind of outline what my experience was like, why it was so cool, and then maybe to give you guys an idea of what it would be like if you decided to participate in the course. So probably the most profound experience that I went through while on this meditation retreat was my mind was constantly replaying all of my past negative experiences that I've had in my life. And I've had a pretty positive life, but during the course, I literally didn't focus on any positive experiences. My mind was literally just racing back through and just pulling up every time that maybe I hurt someone, or maybe they hurt me, or maybe I got rejected, or maybe I had just a negative experience with someone. And it basically just pulled up those pain points, and I had nothing to do but to feel that. And so I liken my mind it was basically like my mind was a computer, and I was pulling up all the past damaged files or corrupt files. And every time one pulled up, it took all the computer power to repair it. And then as soon as it went away, the next one came up, and it repeated that cycle over and over again for the entire 10 days. And so this was very exhaustive. It was very difficult. And what was so shocking was that my memory was finer tuned than I ever thought was even possible. Like, I was recalling events that happened 10 years ago that I've never thought about since then. And I had full visual, full auditory, and full sensory memory of those experiences. And it was just a huge trip to go back through all those experiences and to be forced to relive them and just to feel those sensations and not be attracted or averse, but just kind of feel it and work through it. And the benefit coming out of that was I just feel so much lighter. Like, I released just so many past negative experiences. And I think that's part of why the course is so difficult. Like, one thing that surprised me was that every Vipassana, like, a sizable amount of people leave because they can't handle the negativity. They can't handle what I was talking about earlier with feeling those emotions and those past experiences that come up. And that's pretty surprising because everyone that was at the course has either done a ton of meditation or they're super interested in meditation. So it was like super crazy when people were leaving like halfway through the course. And by going through that experience, one of the biggest realizations I got from it was basically the downside of engaging in any lower negative emotion, such as like anger, fear, resentment, guilt. And I realized that anytime let's say you get angry, let's say like someone does something bad to you, and what's interesting is that as humans, I think we often think that by getting angry that we're somehow getting back at the person, or it kind of justifies the experience in general. And what I learned through this meditation was that anytime we engage in anger, we're actually like singeing it into our consciousness, or like we're like drilling like this deep line in stone. And the only way to reverse it is by sitting down in quiet, in silence, being super present, and just feeling those emotions and that negativity as it comes up. But for most humans, like, I had stuff that I had stored onto for 10 years and it was still in me, and I had to reprocess it. So imagine someone who's like 60 years old, some of the guilt and fear and anger that they've held onto in the past, it doesn't go away until you sit down and be present and feel it. So the takeaway lesson was basically, if anyone does anything bad to you, just to forgive them and to accept it as maybe repayment for like a past negative karma or experience that you've given to someone. And while this is easier said than done, the message was just like, engaging in these emotions just isn't a good idea. And the third major benefit and realization I got was basically just came about as a result of abstaining from everything, abstaining from technology, social media, all the modern media outlets, politics. We were on this retreat during the presidential inauguration, so everything that entailed. And I think that as humans, the way that we live our modern lives, we're living at an extreme. And I don't think we usually think about it that way, but the way that we deal with media and distractions, we're living on the extreme. So Vipassana basically takes you to the completely other extreme. And some people are like, oh, I couldn't do 10 days silent meditation. But I think by going to that extreme, when we come back to our normal life, we can be way more balanced and we can actually live in the middle. Because I think that's the goal, is just to be in the middle, to kind of realize the past distractions and where you were going wrong before, and just to live a much more balanced life. So it was about 3 weeks ago that I got out of the retreat. And in those 3 weeks, I feel super blessed because I've looked at my smartphone way less. I've been distracted by technology way less. And I've just had a lot more presence and awareness and kind of just focus in my life, more clarity about what I want and kind of less distraction. And I think that's probably the biggest benefit that people get from Vipassana, from just meditating for 100 hours, is you just start to be more present in your normal life. So what I would say is, if you guys decide to do this, my biggest tip would be to stick it out till day 10. It's a long time, it's super hard, but day 10 was just one of the most joyous experiences I've ever had, because the whole time you're not speaking, but you're constantly around 100 different people. And they separated the girls and the guys, but you're eating dinner with all these people, you're meditating with them constantly, but you're just not communicating. And so after 10 days, to finally be able to speak and talk to all these like-minded people that were there, because it attracts just such high caliber individuals. So to be able to network and share your experience and hear their experience and just connect with them, it was just out of control, super beautiful experience. And it ended the retreat on a massive high, because the days before were really difficult. So it ended the retreat on a huge high. I was able to walk away from it with a bigger perspective for how it benefited me. And it was just an awesome experience. So what I would say is, if this interests you at all, I'll provide a link below just to this website called dhamma.org. And that's the Vipassana website. Basically, Vipassana is totally free. You don't have to pay any money. You can donate time or money at the end if you want to. And it'll have a description. It'll go way more into detail. I just skimmed the surface, and it'll have links to all the Vipassana courses and locations all over the world. And I would say, if you have any sort of doubts, or if this sounded kind of weird, I would say definitely do not do Vipassana, because it's just way too hard. If you have any sort of doubts, I would say only do it if you're fully committed. But that being said, it was definitely the most beneficial 10 days that I put time into in my life, for sure. So I hope you guys liked the video. Give it a like and some feedback below.